You know what time it is? Actually, I don't like how bright that is. Hold on. Turn the brightness down just a tad. It's too much. It was going to make me squint. So, we're going to do cards. Definitely going to do cards. Tomorrow, I'll probably do emoji tarot. Keep that in mind. We have the new moon in Gemini on Thursday. It's going to be happening at 17 degrees, I think, so it's on my rising. I'm going to plug in this mic because they're intermittently sawing next door. And they weren't sawing when I started, but they are sawing now. Hopefully this works. I'll put it on my necklace and hope it stays. There is a lot of distraction right now. I'm in my luteal phase. I just got done crying. My dad and I have been stressed out with each other. All the while I'm in the middle of doing a bunch of inner child work. And then there's sawing boards next door, and there's a bunch of barking dogs that sound like cats also. So I was just outside trying to rescue a cat that doesn't exist. Anybody else going through it? Whatever it is. So this is why I'm pulling up and doing cards. There's always a good time. Like, when I'm confused, I always pray. I don't pull cards for myself like I used to. Just because I realize my gift isn't for me. It's for you. And I can rewatch my own stuff and get something from it too. But I have to be of service with it. Or get my cards read by somebody else if I'm actually going to get into the cards for my in interest of my own self. So, I haven't done my card prayer yet. Let's get into that. Spirit of angels, truth, love, light, and benevolent darkness. Please come into this circle. Please disallow any energies that want to sow confusion, tension, misinformation, bad feelings, more stress, more tension. We want none of those energies coming into the circle. We only want healthy communication for the sense of building and growing as people. What advice? What really needs to be said? Okay, I actually... This is what we're going to do the reading about. These cards are for anybody who's been feeling overwhelmed and helpless. Like there's circumstances beyond their control. Whether it be things you're watching on the news, cycles of life happening in your life, mentally going through patterns and not being able to escape or feeling like they're too big for you. Maybe you're quitting an addiction, trying to gain momentum in a new lifestyle. Maybe you're trying to start a business and self-improve, and things just feel so much bigger than you, and you're overwhelmed. Maybe you have a lot of kids. You don't really know what you're going to do with your energy because you're feeling tapped out. Maybe you're a caretaker and you're feeling really burnt out. Vulnerable, right there. That was a vulnerability. My makeup isn't entirely where I want it to be. I did cry like for 20 minutes this morning. Just like one of those cries that's not really sobbing, but it's just like aching in your chest. in the middle of an inner child meditation. I highly recommend. I recommend the process, even though I said I was just crying. I don't really cry. I'm not really a crier. I can go for a year to 3 years without crying. So when I say I'm accessing my emotions and purging and releasing, that's a good thing. I generally don't cry for things that are really devastatingly sad. I go into my trauma survivor state. I only really cry when things are beautiful or they're healing me. So, it's a good thing. Okay, Spirit of Angels, Truth, Love, Light, Benevolent Darkness. Please remove my ego. Like I said, I'm grateful that all the energies that are constructive and want to guide us are present in this circle. I'd like to invite the energies of anybody who watches this reading, your teams from the other side, your ancestors, your family that you work with, your deities of choice. They're all welcome here as long as they have our highest good in mind. I invite mine. Please come into this circle and help us. Alright, so I feel like pulling 4 cards. I just got the sign it's okay to start pulling. That inner signal. I'm stepping out of the way of the message. Please remove my ego. I'm asking again. Make it as clear as possible and concise as possible. I'm going to do 4 cards for anybody who's feeling overwhelmed and needs anything. A message, some guidance, anything. And a pep talk, whatever. Like God, Spirit, Angels. Give us cards for the overwhelm. I'm not taking reversals. I shuffled and I shuffled and I shuffled. Last time I pulled cards for a topic. I had one of these cards pop out. So let me move that. Hopefully I don't knock down my whole setup. There's a story. So I'll just start showing you the cards. The story will bring itself out as I go. The Ace of Cups. Influencer hand. Ace of Cups. 8 of Cups. Again, this popped out earlier this week. I made a video about divorce a couple days ago. 7 of Swords. Queen of Wands. I love the cat in this card. I'm feeling this several different ways. I feel like there's cleverness at play. There's something, like there's a trick. The Ace of Cups is about, literally, there's a dove and a communion wafer. This is like what happens when spirit meets the body. There's this sense of overwhelming peace and love and unconditional love, abundance, It's like, and since it's an ace, it's a new sense of this peace that passes understanding. A feeling of having your cup full from the start, from the source, not from external things. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, quite literally, this is basically telling me, you, everybody who's watching, the same old, same old. Fill your own cup first. People might not know how to do that. So that's why I keep staring at these cards. It's also saying with this Eight of Cups to me that you might have to take time alone by yourself to do this, to understand how to fill that cup properly. It might even be an uphill battle. Like that sense of, you know, maybe it's the expectations, just so many people wanting things, needing something. It's like maybe you have a hard time telling the difference between a need and a want within yourself or with how other people are coming at you. You know, maybe you're having a hard time differentiating when someone speaks about what they desire, if it's just a need or a want, or if they absolutely are being needy of you. I would say if you're feeling a sense of a difficulty of not being able to fill your own cup because of the needs of the people around you, you should probably spend some time alone. Get a little mini staycay. Or get out in nature. Or, you know, this is giving, stay out all night and look at the stars and renew yourself with a break in your habit. It's like a meteor shower night, like indulging a meteor shower night, just keeping your eye on the heavenly while you're trudging through this maze of life. Do your best to unplug emotionally and fill your cup from the source, which is absolutely what inner child work is all about. Like, that's definitely being done. I swear, one of those dogs sounds just like a cat. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's driving me insane. And then there's a trick to it. It's like there's some leverage. It's like you might need to get your passion back. Or play mind games with yourself, even, to make sure that you're feeling creative, you're feeling renewed. I'm going to get a clarifier for that 7. Can I get a clarifier for the 7 of Swords? I'm not feeling a clear segue between the 7 of Swords and the Queen of Wands here, so I'd like a little bit more of a middle point. Help me out with the 7 of Swords, please. A little louder for the ones in the back, please. Okay. It's definitely a change of mind. It's a shift. So there's a perspective shift. It's like a trick of the mind. It's definitely playing mind games with yourself about needs and wants, life or death situations. Is it weighing things out from within, becoming becoming the leverage instead of, because it's not like there's a lack of things going on in this world. That's where power comes from, Queen of Wands. That's where inspiration and self-rulership will come from. Let me see. Making sure I have all this in front of me. Hold on. I'm preparing for another meeting after this too, so my brain just popped up with something. So okay, got that all resealed in my mind. Have you ever heard of outsmarting the devil? It's like kind of the vibes. It's being so self-possessed. Another Bob Marley quote for today. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Mental slavery, mental servitude, emotional overwhelm are all a trick of the mind. It's a choice that you can make to continue, or you can play a game. Hold on, I feel like holding this is a better option because this is so fucking loud. So the Queen of Wands here, she's playful and she knows how to boss people around a little bit. She's not the Queen of Swords. This is just playing with your mind and becoming a queen, regardless of your position. This is finding power. It's not even like an actual literal femininity. I feel like this is just a sense of how to use the cleverness. This is using wiles. This is working smarter, not harder. Might help the overwhelm. It's about pulling back and finding a way to be clever. It reminds me of Doctor Who. Do you guys ever watch Doctor Who? I used to watch Doctor Who a lot more. But the more bonkers the solution is, and sometimes the solution is forgetting about the problem and diverting your attention. I think that's a lot of what this is talking about. Holy fuck. As a queen, some problems don't need to be dealt with by you. So you don't actually have to worry about the problem like you think you might have to worry about the problem. The feminine doesn't solve problems. That's not our job. Our job is to nurture. So do you want to nurture the issue of feeling overwhelmed, or do you want to work smarter, not harder? I would say it's absolutely okay to prioritize yourself, even if it feels like there's going to be fallout from that decision. Trust it. Test it, see what happens. See what happens when you become so fucking self-absorbed in the healthiest way possible. If you've never done that, pretty sure things are going to be fine. Spiritually speaking, passion needs to be important here. If you're not feeling turned on or passionate about the things you've been doing every day to trudge through life, if you're not thriving on it, if it's not sparking joy and bringing more creativity, then you need to withdraw and become more clever about how you handle everybody else around you. You need to handle your own thoughts more cleverly too. If you're finding yourself dip into this thing where you feel duty bound to people who aren't paying the energy back towards you, then you need to play tricks with your mind and figure out how to be the queen. Not give people assignments. Don't forget to be easy with it. Like, if you feel tension, drop the ball. This might mean that the sink has to fill up with dishes every now and then. But if you're putting your physical body and your spiritual body and your emotional body ahead of everything else, everything will all fall into place with time. I've had something stuck in my eye for almost an hour and I keep trying to blink it out. It's like a little particle. This is a weird card draw. Help me out with a little more about the Queen of Wands here. Really? You put the clip right there on the top, so I have to touch the mic? Cool. Queen of Wands. Give me a little bit more about the Queen of Wands. I feel like there's a little more to unpack. Give me more about her energy. Is that an embodiment, or give me more advice with that embodiment, I would say, is a better thing. Give me more details about the Queen of Wands and how to embody that. I feel like there's an issue of tact here. Because we can't, like, remove all of our responsibilities. So how are we supposed to handle the responsibilities while being healthy, selfish, and clever and creative? It's just saying teamwork again. I got this the other day. Trust that people can wipe their own ass. If they're not being a team member, then don't worry about them. Your feelings matter. This is not about being irresponsible, you guys. This is about making sure that you're not giving from an empty cup. Ultimately, the responsibility is in your hand. You have to readjust and walk away from a routine or a person or something that's not working in your favor. You have to learn how to say your sacred no's. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain why. No, you don't have to explain why. Stop over-explaining yourself. If somebody compliments you, just say thank you. Don't go on. Don't press yourself into places where you're not exactly wanted. You're not going to get the energy back that way. Change the way you think and feel. And if you need to take breaks, go on a staycation, do it. But really, it's not about quitting your routines here. It's more about a mental change. Extreme cases, yes. Change your routine. But you'll know if it's that toxic, if it's ruining your health or endangering your well-being in a life or death way. you know what you have to do. If it's a cumulative thing that'll kill you down the road, get rid of that too. But this overwhelm, although I feel like in the air right now, can be handled by asking for help. And it's funny because I'm one of those people that doesn't feel like I have a lot of people to ask for help in certain things. But it might just be that I'm not used to asking for help and people don't know how to help me. So that's a good illustration is once you're so locked into the idea that people won't be there for you even if you ask, you're going to miss out on opportunities to give people to be there for you, because you're going to be so self-sufficient and so locked in that you won't have an exchange of energy. You have to receive sometimes too. It's not always about output. Your receiving is important too. So if you're feeling like it's imbalanced, give to yourself. Pull back. Look at the energy you're spending on doom scrolling, dopamining on Instagram or TikTok. Reduce your screen time from things that aren't building your future, bringing you money, sustainably feeding your dopamine or serotonin. Take a break. Be cleverer with your day. Really pay attention to your day segments. If you must, set reminders every couple hours to check your phone, or go have your phone go off and remind you to stay in alignment and put your phone down. You know, get in your body, tap, move around, soothe yourself any way you possibly can if you're overwhelmed, but don't go into putting the responsibility on other people. It's not about them, it's about you. You're the star player. You're the one that feels the feelings. You're the one. It's not about telling people how to act. This is about embodiment. You can't force people to act certain ways, so you have to take ultimate responsibility for yourself and how you think. We all know this. At least I think we all know this. It's just reiterating. For the overwhelm, the only thing you can really do, put your attention on yourself and really analyze what you're doing with your time during the day. Look at what thoughts you're thinking repetitively. Are you choosing to go down negative pathways of thought and being clever towards negativity, or are you trying to be clever towards positivity? It goes both ways. It's all in your imagination either way. But definitely jettison things that aren't for you. And if you have to play tricks to get out of a dirty situation, do it. It's like subtle manipulation. If you have to use, like, I'm not advocating toxic manipulation, but if you have to manipulate a situation in order to reduce your overwhelm and get things on an alignment track for people are actually taking care of themselves again, do so. I swear those dogs sound like cats. Remember, you're the star player. Your emotions matter. You can always hire somebody to do the work. Peace of mind is more important than anything, so pray for that. Pray for ways to be shown to you on how to cultivate a peaceful atmosphere in your mind. And the way will be shown to you. Anything that's too uncomfortable to hold onto and control, drop it. Give it to somebody else to handle. This is your power. Okay. I'm gonna go. So hopefully this reaches somebody that needed to hear this. I love you guys. Bye for now.